Question 10. Lisa is using trial and improvement to find a solution to this equation. X squared minus 3x equals 1. Here are her first few trials. Complete the missing information. When x equals 3, x squared take away 3 lots of x equals 0. So this value of x is too small. Well, let's unpick what she's done there first of all. She's saying that x is 3. So what she's doing is she's replacing the x's in here with a 3. So she's saying, instead of x squared, she's saying 3 squared. Instead of 3x, she's saying 3 lots of 3. And she's saying it equals 0. Well, let's see why. Well, 3 squared is 9, and 3 lots of 3 is 9. So when you do 9 take away 9, you do get 0. Now, why is this too small? Well, we're trying to make this equal to 1. This equals 1 on the end is absolutely crucial because that's what the answer needs to be. It needs to equal 1. Well, her answer is equaling 0. And obviously 0 is too small because it's less than 1. So that's why it's too small. So what we've got to do is work out now what her answer is when x equals 4. So all we're going to do is replace the x's with a 4. So instead of x squared, it's going to be 4 squared. Instead of 3 lots of x, it's going to be 3 lots of 4. And now we just need to work that out. So 4 squared is 16, 3 lots of 4 is 12, and we need to subtract because we're doing x squared, which is 16, subtract 3 lots of x, which is 12. So it's 16 subtract 12. 16 subtract 12 is 4. So that's the answer we put in here, 4. Well, remember, our answer needs to be 1. So if we're getting 4, that's way too big. So this value of x is too big because it's giving us an answer which is too big. 4 is bigger than 1, so it's too big. We next need to try 3.5. So when x is 3.5, x squared is going to be 3.5 squared. Take away 3 lots of x, so 3 lots of 3.5. And now we need to work that out. So 3.5 squared, remember, use a calculator if you can't do it in your head. 3.5 multiplied by 3.5 is 12.25. Take away 3 lots of 3.5. 3 lots of 3.5 is 10.5. But we need to take this away to find the answer. So 12.25, take away 10.5, the answer we're getting is 1.75. So when she does x squared take away 3x with 3.5, we get an answer of 1.75. Now if we look at what our answer needs to be, it still needs to be 1, so 1.75 is still too big. It says, what value of x should Lisa try next? Well, we know, let's look at what we've got so far. We know that 3 is too small, 4 is too big. So if 3 is too small and 4 is too big, that's why she tried 3.5 next, because the answer must be between 3 and 4. But 3.5 was still too big. So now we know that it's between 3 and 3.5. So we need to try a value between 3 and 3.5. Because 3 is too small and 3.5 is too big. So it's got to lie between these two numbers. So what could we try? Well, we could try 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. There's no point trying 3 and 3.5 because we've already tried it. We know that 3 is too small and 3.5 is too big. Some people even like to try the number exactly halfway between those, and exactly halfway between those would be 3.25. So you can actually try any of these numbers in there and that would be an acceptable answer. So, for example, we'll just put 3.3 in there. We don't actually have to work out what it would be. We can do if we want in a moment, but we've just got to explain why we chose that value. So your explanation is if 3 gives an answer too small and 3.5 is too big, then we need to try between these two values, and 3.3 is between them. And that would be acceptable. If you do want to try and see what would happen if you tried 3.3, it's 3.3 squared, subtract 3 lots of 3.3. So if you work that out, 3.3 squared, 3.3 times 3.3 equals 10.89. 3 lots of 3.3, you can probably do in your head, is 9.9. So we've got 10.89 minus 9.9, and that comes to 0.99. Remember, we're trying to make 1 all the way back at the question, trying to make 1. So that's still actually a little bit too small. But you can see what happens every time we refine our trial, what we're trialing, we get a little bit closer to 0.99. So the logical thing to do would then be to try something a little bit bigger than 3.33. So you could probably try 3.4 then. But we don't need to do that. All we've had to do is justify why we've chosen a number between 3 and 3.5. And it's because 3 is too small and 3.5 is too big. And that's the answer why we've gone between those.